Is this a trap game for the Minnesota Vikings in Week 5 against the Cleveland Browns? We're going to talk about it. Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Seatman, and like I said, coming up on today's show, we'll be breaking down if this is a potential trap game for the Vikings for many, many reasons. And we can start off with this. I don't love this. People are doing their game preview picks, and only 2 people picked the Cleveland Browns. Now, the over-under in this game is 35.5, and the point spread is 3 points in favor of the Vikings. Normally, when you have that type of game, low over-under, about a field goal favorite on either side. Normally, this is about 50-50, but people are rocking with the Vikes. I'm a little nervous for this game, and I'll explain why here in a second. But if you guys could, hit that subscribe button today. We are in the middle of our Week 5 sub battle against the Browns report, where right now they have a 3-subscriber lead. They've picked up 3 more subs than us this week. I'm trying to beat them. So if you guys are watching this before Sunday, hit that subscribe button. We post videos multiple times a day on your Minnesota Vikings, short-form content, live shows. We do it all here. So hit that subscribe button. Help us out, and let's beat the Browns report in our Week 5 sub battle. Why is it a trap game? The injury bug. This is number 1 by far. This has nothing to do with what's going to happen on the field. It's more about who is not on the field for the Minnesota Vikings. And, scripting out this graphic, it hurt. Likely out versus the Browns. You think about how many key players the Vikings are probably going to miss in this Week 5 game. Donovan Jackson, you're starting left guard. Ryan Kelly, you're starting center. You're probably going to be without Michael Juergens, your backup center. Brian O'Neill, not going to play. Andrew Van Ginkel, not going to play. Blake Cashman, for sure not going to play. Same with Aaron Jones and J.J. McCarthy. And also, Dallas Turner might not even go in this one. So you are missing. Van Ginkel's a top 10 player on this team. Same with Cashman. Same with O'Neill. Donovan Jackson's probably top 20. Aaron Jones probably top 25. You are missing some key cogs in this system. And the Vikings, listen, they are a way better team than the Cleveland Browns. If we were fully healthy in this, let's just say we didn't catch an injury the entire season, and even Addison wasn't suspended, and we got 4 real games of this team fully healthy, getting better every single week, I promise you the Vikings would beat the Browns by freaking 25 points this weekend. But the injuries might be too much to overcome. But also, I say all that, it is still no excuse. You could have the whole starting 11 on each side of the football out. You can't lose to the Cleveland Browns and Dylan Gabriel. Brian Flores, by the way, you got to be licking your chops. You're playing a guy like Dylan Gabriel, very similar quarterback to Tua Tagovailoa. Obviously, he had that beef with Tua. I don't know if this is a little Michael Jordan extra motivation for Flores this week, but I'll tell you what, the Browns can't score more than 20 points this week, or else the Vikings probably don't have a good chance of winning. So the injury bug, you got to overcome it. There's a lot of injuries, but still at the end of the day, I don't think there's an excuse to win this game against the Cleveland Browns. And speaking about the Browns, a little on the field here. Physicality. The Browns are a physical football team. And that has been the archetype of football team that has gave Kevin O'Connell a lot of fits in the past. Like you think about the Lions. They've owned the Vikings. Lions are one of the most physical teams in the league. The Rams, a very, very physical team, have given the Vikings fits over the years. And the Browns, their defensive line, they're going to try to come in this game and kick the shit out of you. Myles Garrett, best defensive player in the world by far. One of the best defensive players I've ever seen, frankly. Malik Collins, stud. The most underrated defensive tackle in the NFL. Mason Graham, this dude looks like a beast. He is one of the best run-stopping D tackles only in his 5th game in the NFL. He's great at 2-gapping. A guy like Alex Wright, pretty underrated. But that defensive line, they're ferocious. They're going to try to get after you. And if this is the offensive line the Vikings are rolling out there, it's a tough matchup. It's a huge disadvantage for the Vikings. We can talk about, the Vikings organization versus the Browns organization. We're the way better organization. We've got the way better roster top to bottom, way better coaching staff. But this on the field doesn't matter about the logos. It doesn't matter about the coaching staff. This is just bodies on bodies, and the Browns have the huge advantage with their defensive line against the Vikings' offensive line. So they're going to have to somehow navigate that. How do you do that? Get the quick pass game, get the run game going. You cannot have these long developing deep routes like Kevin O'Connell's been doing, since he started calling plays for the Vikings. But also another reason why this is a trap game, Browns are getting this new quarterback juice. This is a real thing in the NFL, and it's 2 types of new quarterback juices. One, you just got the natural backup quarterback juice. When the backup quarterback comes in, guys try to rally around him. They want to do it for that guy, kind of like what the Vikings did with Carson Wentz. In week 3, he came in there. Team had some juice, played with a lot of energy, but especially with a rookie quarterback making his first start. because those guys also defensively, Browns defense, one of the better ones in the league. I'm sure they're saying to themselves, like, man, what if Dillon Gabriel's actually kind of good? We could have a good team. Like, we got to go make his life easier. Like, the offensive linemen are saying, man, we got to put Dillon Gabriel in an advantageous spot so he'll have that juice, just like what Jackson Dart did last week against the Chargers. Jackson Dart wasn't fantastic. He didn't put the team on his back, but he gave that offense energy. He gave them the spark they needed, and that whole team rallied around him. Like, the Giants' defensive line, there were no-shows for the first couple of weeks. Dart gets in there. They're a little more motivated. They started really getting after Justin Herbert. So that new quarterback juice is a real thing. But again, at the end of the day, it's a rookie quarterback making their first start against Brian Flores. Just that alone on paper should be enough for a win against the Browns. But I ask you guys this, how are we feeling? Let me get the pulse of the fan base here. What's your confidence level in the Vikings beating the Browns? Scale it for me 1 to 100 down below. I'm probably sitting at a 65 right now. Feeling good, but definitely not great. So you guys let me know your confidence level in the Vikings beating the Browns. Now we'll dive into more reasons why this is a trap game here in a second, but I got to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. Now, you and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. And if you guys download the PrizePicks app today, plug in promo code CLNS. We'll hook you guys up with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, PrizePicks has a new feature called Stacks, meaning you can pick up to the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. You want more on Josh Allen's pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns? Now you can pick them all in the same lineup only on PrizePicks. And they also have another new feature. We can follow other PrizePicks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in just one click, whether it's a friend, celebrity, or just someone whose picks you like. Hit the follow button. Check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on PrizePicks. So download the PrizePicks app today. Give them a shot. Use promo code CLNS. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is promo code CLNS at PrizePicks to get $50 in lineups after you make your first $5 lineup. But shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. All right, so the new quarterback juice, obviously huge for this team, with the Browns. Big reason why it's a trap game, but also the Vikings are going to have to stop the run this weekend. Like, you already got a rookie quarterback in there. How do the Browns want to make his life easier? It's going to get him a run game, get the play action going. It would just get him easier completions, especially on third downs. Like, if you put Dillon Gabriel in third and long over and over again, it's going to be a long day for him. But if you get him in 3rd and 4s, you get him in 3rd and 3s, he can stay ahead of the sticks. Like, he can slice and dice you. And in the 2 Vikings losses, that have been the reason why they lost. It was week 2. You're giving up 218 yards against the Falcons on the ground, 5.6 yards per carry. You do that this weekend, you will lose this football game. Week 4 against the Steelers. Even if you give up that, like, not a lot of yards total, but still good enough to get you beat. 131 yards on the ground, 4.5 yards per carry, found the end zone 2 times. And also the Browns, they got a dog at running back. Quinshon Judkins is that dude. This dude's going to be one of the more premier running backs in the league for a very, very long time. He's got the juice. He was one of the best running backs in one of the best running back classes we have ever seen in the National Football League. This guy's a stud. If you let him get going, it could be a long day for this defense. And you just got to get Dillon Gabriel in tough spots, which the Vikings can do. Like, there's an answer to this run defense problem. How about the 2 guys you paid big money to? Javon Hargrave, Jonathan Allen. I know you're a pass rush specialist, but hey, why don't you do it in the trenches? Do it by stopping the run. Also, Jonathan Grenard, I saw a quote from him earlier. He was talking about, it doesn't make a difference. Joe Flacco, Dillon Gabriel in at quarterback in terms of, like, getting home to the quarterback. He says, honestly, I'm not even thinking about that. He said he's focused on stopping the run this week. So I like where the mindset is for these guys. But you got to stop the run. And then also, you can't beat yourself. This is a trap game. If you have some bad penalties, that's how you lose these type of games. Where you are the better team, you cannot have the same penalties the Vikings have been committing over the last couple weeks. Second most penalties in the league this season, 9.3 per game. Not good enough. If you have 9+ penalties again this week, there's a good chance you lose. Now, some teams can overcome it, like the Jags and the Packers, but right now, with how beat up the Vikings are, you're not as good as those 2 teams. Like, with all the injuries, like, you can't have just the pre-snap, like, boneheaded penalties. And it's not even like the Vikings are getting a ton of, like, pass interference calls, holding calls, which are more penalties of, one, you trying to do too much or overcompensating for bad play. It's just a lack of just mental focus, I want to call it, these types of penalties. False starts, 8, delay of games, 4, illegal formation, 3, 12 men on the field, 1. These are all controllable penalties. It's just got to be better. And why is it a trap game? Just two simple reasons. I gave you 5, but this just screams trap in my mind. Penalties and the injuries. If the Vikings cannot clean up their penalties and you cannot overcome these injuries, you're going to lose this game. Like the Browns, they're a bad team. They have a really good defensive line. They got a couple of nice players in the secondary. They got a good linebacker, but they're still a bad team. A very bad team. You cannot lose this game. You got to beat them. I mean, the Lions just beat them 34-10 last week at home. Obviously, the Lions are way better than the Vikings right now, but the Vikings just win this game 21-10. Dylan Gabriel shouldn't be able to put up more than 15 points against this team. Should not happen. Will it happen? Who the hell knows? But if you guys made it to the end, only real ones make it here. Give me those SKOLs down below in the comment section if you guys watch this entire thing. But I do appreciate you. We will be live here on the channel about an hour before kickoff this Sunday morning. So make sure you guys tune in then. See you guys next time. SKOL Vikes.